Throughout my 30-year career as a property manager, I've managed everything from a large shopping mall in Florida to retail centers in Alabama and office buildings in North Carolina. I've learned a lot about the engineering components of buildings that most people never see. One critical piece of equipment is what city engineers call a backflow preventer. It attaches the main water source of a building to the city water line. The purpose is to stop contamination from the building water system from flowing back into the city's clean water lines if there's an issue with the building water. The reasonably sized piece of equipment can prevent a catastrophe when it's kept in prime operating condition. But when a backflow preventer bursts, it takes days for the city to clean out the contaminated water lines. Many businesses and homes are unable to access clean water, some having to boil their water to remove the contamination. Using the backflow preventer as an illustration, let's look at Proverbs 4:23. It says this, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Most theologians agree King Solomon wrote the book of Proverbs. In the previous sessions, we witnessed Solomon, the wisest man to ever live, experience quite a few blunders in his life. And yet, in this scripture, he begins with, "Above all else, guard your heart." Solomon is conveying that this should be top priority in our relationship with God. Remember, our heart is the totality of our being. It's our spirit, soul, and body. And because our heart is the intimate spiritual place where we commune with God, he is adamant we guard the good work he deposits there. But how is it even possible to protect ourselves from others and from our enemy? And why is it so important to God? We can do this by establishing strong boundaries to protect our heart like the backflow preventer protects the city's clean water. You'll talk about boundaries in your session. Solomon continues in Proverbs with, "Everything you do flows from it." Solomon understood that the health of our spiritual heart has a direct impact on our mental and emotional stability and on our walk with Jesus. It affects all we do or think, and it affects others. When we let down our guard by engaging in sin or allowing someone through the boundary, the world contaminates us like polluted water from a malfunctioning backflow preventer. Our human response to sin or hurt results in shame, denial, depression, and unforgiveness. Once we're contaminated, we are open prey for Satan to bully us. No matter how many prayers we say, we are left feeling dirty and useless. It takes a while to get our heart right with God again. And we think it's just affecting us, but we're fooling ourselves if we believe our poor choices don't hurt others. And that's when we miss the opportunity to bear witness for Jesus. Disobedience and anguish clog our spirit, dragging us down the wide path to destruction. Think back to where we started in session 1. We're either on the wide path that leads to eventual destruction or the narrow path that leads to abundant life in Jesus. The way we guard our heart affects our journey and where we end up. It determines whether we're walking in discouragement or the fruits of the Spirit, which are the characteristics of Jesus. So how can we be proactive in this? Building engineers test backflow preventers annually to prevent a malfunction before it happens. We need to be deliberate in guarding God's good deposit by erecting and testing our boundaries. Protecting our heart and what we allow to enter it is our responsibility, not God's, and it's an action we cannot take lightly. Talk this out during the boundaries section in this session. It's important to hear about the boundaries established by others, how they have struggled, persevered, and learned in times of hardship and testing. We realize we are not alone. We are all sinners, and we all desire to be walking in holiness with Christ. Enjoy the session. Learn from your peers. I look forward to sharing with you again soon.